Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and each week I'm joined by a panel of guests to discuss all things fandom and pop culture, primarily from a female perspective. You'll find everything from fanfic, to cosplay, to Schitt's Creek, to Supernatural, and everything in between. So put on your favorite piece of fandom merch, set aside that fanfic that you're writing about your OTP, and sit back and enjoy this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Pop Culture and Fandom News. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and yes, we are back. We were off last week from Pop Culture and Fandom News and from our regular episode as well because of our marathon streaming event, but I'm really, really happy to be back, and I'm happy to be back with a lovely panel of two amazing human beings. So first up, my podcast brain twin and my co-host of Twin It to Win It from my streaming bubble, Jenn. Hello, Jenn.
Hello. Thank you. All the applause.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you didn't do it, I was going to get to it.
I won't be annoying with that, so.
It's okay. I think we'll have to do it for Who's Next, because also joining us is Tiff. Hello, Tiff.
Hi, hey, hello. I'm ready for my applause. Perfect timing. Exquisite.
But I'm happy to have you both here. And on Friday's episode, we're going to be talking about drunk history, which was Tiff's suggestion. And I know Tiff put that suggestion in when last year we were talking about Ryan Gosling. And I know that inspired you to put that suggestion on the suggestion list. And this was a first-time watch for Erin, but I'm excited to talk about this, especially mainly to hear Jenn and Tiff's thoughts more than anything. But before we get into that, let's get into some pop culture and fandom news. So Jenn, what is one thing you want to talk about?
Since I've been kind of stuck in like comfort rewatch heaven, because it's not a hell, like I'm enjoying it, obviously. I don't really have anything like new or exciting, but when I'm doom scrolling TikTok, or if I feel like just sitting down and watching like the full episode, I'll go to YouTube and watch the Roundtable Game Show. And so that's a game show where it's like a handful of like Black women are sitting around a table, and the goal is to tell a joke but not laugh. You laugh, you're out. And they've gone on for like 6 seasons, and their jokes are hilarious and like offensive, but like everyone's kind of a target. So it's like South Park offensive, where if that makes sense. But they are a hoot to watch. And whenever I'm watching their videos, I try not to laugh. My husband has a favorite of one of the girls, T, because she has some of the best reactions. It is really like they're really, really funny, and the jokes are great, and it's a great way to just kind of laugh and relax a little bit. So as long as I remember to breathe.
But it is good to have that right now, I think, I think everybody needs to try and find something that they can have that can give them that time and space to like breathe and relax and not just think about the doom of the world, you know?
Very true.
Yeah,
Very
that's
true.
really essential right now. Yep. So Tiff.
I mean, honestly, what's been on my mind, it lives rent free, is Project Hail Mary. I've seen it twice, and every time, dear daughter and I, who you all were introduced to last week during the marathon streaming event, we are obsessed with this movie. I love Ryan Gosling so much. Every time he gets on the screen, I love him more and more. And it's amazing the way he can mesh the comedy with the drama, with this emotional component. And, not to spoil things, but, acting beside somebody that you wouldn't think that he could act beside, and provide just so much emotion, so much just heartfelt nuance and the grandeur of things at times. I love this movie so much. I'm going to go see it a third time. I don't care. I'm going to go see it again.
Love that.
But for something newish, I'm going to take darling daughter, that's the younger one, taking her to go see the Sheep Detectives tomorrow. So that'll be Saturday because, as she said, you promised that we could go to a movie, so you need to take me to a movie. Okay. I don't make the rules, apparently. Even though I'm the parent, I don't make the rules. So we're going to see the Sheep Detectives with Hugh Grant.
No, Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, yes. Did I say Hugh Grant? Sorry.
Yeah.
And yet I still knew who you were talking about. Like, I knew you didn't mean Hugh Grant.
Yeah, it's a good cast, though. Like, a really good cast. The voice team, and I'm like, is it a Babe, but mystery? But Babe with a detective component? But I like it, so it looks like it's going to be fun. So I'll have to let you know how it goes.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, people have compared it actually to Babe, so that's an apt. I mean, I haven't seen it, but that sounds like an apt comparison. I'm kind of curious to see it, but I'll be quite frank. I don't like going to movies where there could be a possibility of kids being in the movie theater.
Same.
Okay, I'm like, no offense to parents out there, but
no,
like,
trust me. I would
don't
much rather be, I would much rather be not in a movie that's filled with children. Point blank, I say this as a parent.
Yeah.
I would
say it because you're a parent.
Honestly. Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'd have to see like a 9:00 show or something like that.
You would be surprised how many parents take their kids to shows that late, though.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, actually.
Wild. I'm like, go home, go to bed.
I will say, though, once I got to go with my friend and her daughter when it was her daughter's very first movie she ever saw in a movie theater. And I have to say that was a very special experience. I mean, it was very much a kid's movie, and she was not necessarily like, we kept having to say, no, you can't stand up and run up and down the aisle. But that was quite an experience to be able to watch a kid first see like a movie on the big screen, and that kind of like, oh my gosh, what is this? And so that was pretty special. But that was an exception. For the most part, I'm like, no. Because I've been curious about that one, but I'm like, I'm going to wait and I'll just watch it on streaming because of that very reason. Well, it's funny, I was telling Jenn before we started, because I know Jenn mentioned this on one of our pop culture episodes, that she was like, oh no, Erin's going to become obsessed with that movie, Project Hail Mary. And I like it. I do. I love it. I think it's a great movie, but it hasn't captured me in that way at all. And she was joking that I was going to become insufferable about that one. But no. But the movie I am going to become insufferable about is Obsession. I already am. I think this is the best horror movie I have seen in years. I think this movie is so, so good. If you don't know the premise, it's basically about this guy, Bear, who is in love with Nikki, his friend, who he's been friends with for 6 years. And Bear is played by Michael Johnston, and Nikki is played by the incredible, amazing, outstanding Indy Navarrete. And Bear can't get up the courage or whatever to say how he feels about her. So he picks up this item called the One Wish Willow in a metaphysical store. And he decides on this one night, he breaks it and says, I wish Nikki would love me more than anything in the whole world, basically. And she does end up loving him more than anything in the whole world. And you can imagine where that might go. And the premise of that sounds like, okay, it's just going to be a fun horror movie or something about, careful what you wish for, which that's part of it. But there's a bigger theme going on here, and a bigger, thing being explored, and bigger stuff about consent and bodily autonomy and everything like that going on here. And so I think that's why this movie is so good. And also, Indy Navarrete's performance is one of the best horror performances I've ever seen in my life. I don't think she will get nominated for it, sadly, but it is so good. I know it's being compared a lot to Toni Collette in Hereditary, and I can understand why. But the stuff she has to do physically with her voice, because she's playing different characters, and that's a hard thing to do. And she has to be over the top in this, but it's hard to do that and still make people not go, okay, that's too ridiculous. So she does a fantastic job. Everyone's good in it, but I just wanted to point her out especially. And it's written, directed, and edited by Curry Barker, who got his start on YouTube. And I mentioned this recently on a recording of my streamy bubble, but I really wish people would stop being like, oh, this is a YouTube person. We can't give them their flowers and that makes them not serious. And we can't encourage this. So I'm like, who cares where they started? If they are talented, who gives a fuck? I mean, it takes a lot of work to stream. It takes a lot of work to do that kind of stuff. And so that snobbery is really annoying. But I'm glad that for the most part, people are loving this movie like I love it. I really love listening to so much analysis of it, especially from women and people that identify as women, because I think that's the audience that we should most listen to when it comes to this movie because of the themes it's exploring. And I just think it's so good. I almost cried, and I still need to unpack why I almost cried, which means I have to see it again, which I want to see it again. But it is a lot, too. It's also a holy shit, what the fuck was that kind of movie? And also, I will give a couple of trigger warnings for it. So if you don't want to hear the trigger warnings, if you don't want to be spoiled, you can skip ahead a minute or two. If my fellow panelists don't want to be spoiled, they can take their headphones off for a second. But I will say big trigger warnings for violations of bodily autonomy, sexual assault. It's big triggers for self-harm. And then, because I know people like to know this in advance, and please, you can go check doesthedogdie.com for more detail on each of these triggers in this movie. But Bear has a cat, and in the very beginning, like within the first couple of minutes of the movie, you see the cat died. And I'm not going to tell you how the cat died because it's actually very integral to the whole movie. It looks very much like a stuffed animal. It didn't bother me at all, but I know that's something that's really triggering for some people. So I wanted to make sure people knew that. And there's also some very creepy and dark stuff that goes on involving that cat. So that's something that you might also want to, if you're really sensitive to that, maybe spoil yourself on that. Again, doesthedogdie.com is a great resource for all things that could be triggering. It's not just about does the dog die. But anyway, if you're a horror fan, I think it's kind of a must-see. I can't wait to see how Curry Barker's career, if you don't know, he has been tapped to take over Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which at first I was like, do we need that? But now after seeing this, I'm like, okay, I will be really curious to see his take on that. He has another movie coming out soon about how with Aaron Paul, and I can't remember who else is in it. And it's about people who are like Ghostbusters and like those paranormal investigators and they're frauds, and something else happens with that. But I think it's really good. He adds some humor to it. But yeah, please go see this movie. I love that it's already making a lot of money, and it was made for like $700,000. So these are the movies that Blumhouse used to make, because Blumhouse is the studio that picked this up along with Focus Features. Mm-hmm. And Blumhouse used to make movies like this. And then Blumhouse kind of, in a way, sold out, even though, I mean, they took the Halloween franchise too, but they also just became this studio that wasn't known as much for taking chances. And now they've taken a chance with him. And so I really hope maybe they're going to turn back to their old ways. They probably won't, but hey, maybe they will.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. Yes. We love to see a return on an investment.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Big return on an investment. I know people are seeing it more than once. Some people are like, I can never watch that movie again, but they still love it. So yeah, I highly, 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 highly recommend it. So, and the score is fantastic too. Okay, well, when we come back, we're going to watch something that's not horror related. We're going to watch the trailer because I could not find anything. I'm like, what are we going to watch? I was searching, and some things I'm like, I don't know. So we are going to watch the trailer for Tony, which is a biopic about Anthony Bourdain. So, that made my panel excited. I'm sorry, I spoiled that for you. I shouldn't have spoiled that for you. I am so sorry. For some reason, I thought you would have known. So I'm sorry I spoiled that part for you. But
I would have also accepted the tiger. So a biopic of Tony the Tiger. I don't know why I thought you were going to say
Tony the Tiger.
Nice.
It'd be great.
I was so
the
desperate.
Titan of Frosted Flakes.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Now I need that biopic. So Hollywood, if you're out there, we need that Tony the Tiger biopic, man.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Hey. Okay, so we'll be right back. It's that time. Click pause on us and then go to the link in the show notes. Click play on that trailer for the new biopic, the upcoming biopic called Tony. If you don't care about watching it, then you can just keep listening to us and we will give our thoughts in about like 2 seconds. So Jenn, I'm guessing by your reaction that you're excited about this.
Yes, I am. I adore Anthony Bourdain. Greatly missed. I was watching one of his shows the other day, No Reservations, because like Roku TV, I think has like an Anthony Bourdain or, one of the streaming channels that like always shows a lot of his stuff. And I was watching, I was like, man, he was the best. He was so fucking cool. And he was just like all about the food and all about the people and like so down to earth and like greatly missed and everything. So I'm very happy to see this trailer and I'm very excited. I don't see a lot of biopics. I no reason. I don't see a lot of things, to be completely fair. But this one I think I will definitely need to watch because it just looks so delightful. I'm sure it'll make me cry at parts too. I just have this feeling, but I think overall looks like it'll be just kind of a nice treat.
Yeah. And Tiff?
Yeah, so funny thing, I didn't ever watch No Reservations when Anthony was living. I just kind of caught it here and there after he had already passed. This is very interesting because him considering himself a writer all the time. And I always got that vibe from him is that he considered himself more so of a writer than a chef. But in this, he's like, no, I work in a kitchen. I'm not a writer. I work in a kitchen. So that's an interesting premise. And can I just say that Antonio Banderas is aging like the finest of wines.
He is. He really
finest
is.
of wines.
You're right.
My gosh, that man is silver fox. Like,
you're right.
I really couldn't take my eyes off of him in the trailer. But it looks A24, I mean, what can you say about them? They're willing to kind of push the boundaries with things, I think, including with their biopics. And I'm very interested in seeing it. I don't know if I'll actually go to a theater, but I'll definitely watch it, on streaming for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I chose it then because I'm always like, because I know people are very iffy about biopics. We did a whole episode about biopics, the good, the bad, and the ugly is what we called it. I actually am a sucker for biopics, to be quite frank. When they're done well, they're like everything to me. So I really love biopics when they're done well. I understand the cliches and all that stuff, and it looks like this has the cliches, the typical playbook. But this looks really good. The trailer made me emotional. I think a lot of that's the music choices, to be frank. But I also want to say, Dominic Sessa, did either of you see The Holdovers?
Mm-mm. No.
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh my gosh. Watch The Holdovers. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Because, it was one that like around when it came out, it got a lot of, awards love. That's the one that won the Oscar for Divine. Joy Randolph won the Oscar for her performance in that. It also has Paul Giamatti. And it's really good. It's a Alexander Payne movie, and it's like it's set in the 70s and during Christmas, and so it's kind of like a more sad on the sad side of a holiday movie, but I think it's really good. So I recommend that. And so it's nice to see him because I was like, I wonder what happened to him because he was so good in The Holdovers, and so it's nice to see him leading something like this because this is probably a huge daunting thing to do, to play someone who is as loved as Anthony Bourdain. And it looks like this is just taking place in like the early part of his career. So I'm assuming you won't see like the other stuff or anything like that. And I kind of like that. I appreciate that too, where it's not going to be something that, and we don't know because it hasn't been released, but where it's not going to be something that's going to be overly, where you're going to have to deal with his death. I don't think that's going to be in here. I don't know. And yeah, I agree on the Antonio Banderas front. I also want to point out Leo Woodall, who, if it hadn't been for Obsession, I would have mentioned the other movie I saw at a mystery screening, which I really, 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 really want people to go see because it's a small movie and it's going to get lost. And it's called Tuner. And he plays someone who is a piano tuner. And he also has this, he's basically allergic to sound is the best way to describe it. And like sound is like so loud for him that he has to wear headphones all the time or a lot of times. And he always has things in his ear. But he has like perfect, like he can recognize any note, and he gets involved in like, it's kind of a crime thriller too, but it's so good. It's really good. And he's fantastic in that. So I liked seeing him pop up too. So I'm curious about it. I'm interested in it. And I'm just glad that both of you got so excited when I said what it was about, because I never know, I'm like, I don't know what's going to, I never know what's going to work for people. So yay, I picked right.
Hey, good job.
Variety is the spice of life.
Thanks, Jenn. Thank you, Jenn.
You're welcome.
And I also gave you both some movie recommendations to
yes.
go along with that.
Wrote them down.
Okay, so we're going to take another quick break. And when we come back, I just wanted to talk about Millie Alcock, who's playing Supergirl now and in the upcoming Supergirl movie. And she was in Superman last year. And she has had a lot of crap thrown her way because she's a woman. So by a lot of the fanboys out there in the universe of superheroes. So, and comic books and everything like that. So I just wanted to discuss that briefly when we come back. Okay, so actress Millie Alcock made comments pointing out that simply existing as a woman in fandom space is something that people comment on. And that, she said, we have become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies. She has since received backlash and more. In a recent Variety article, she stated, I didn't even say man, I said people. And they got so angry. I was like, you're proving my point. You're proving my point. I guess women know that this is just how it's always been, unfortunately. And then she added, and it's from a lot of people whose profiles have no photo, who are burner accounts, or someone's name and then dad of 4 Christian, which is hilarious to me. But I mean, whose opinion do you really care about? If you're pissing the right kind of people off, you're doing okay. So I just really loved this. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I know the Supergirl she's playing is not the quote unquote prim and proper Supergirl that we might be used to seeing. And that's part of the reason she wanted to do it. And she also, I never watched Game of Thrones, but she was in Game of Thrones. I know you watched Game of Thrones, Tiff, and you did too, Jenn. And she said she got so much awful fandom stuff from being on Game of Thrones as well. So do we think superhero fandoms and franchise fandoms are harder on women and women identifying people, Jenn? Or do you think it's just the way that it is?
I think it's just women and people that identify as women just being a fan of anything. We're always going to piss off the gatekeepers. And I really don't think it's, I've always said like Star Wars, I think is like the worst when it comes to like the male toxic fans and like, you're not a real fan and you don't know, blah. Shut the fuck up, man. Just fucking stop talking. So it feels like a lot of times I almost want to say like a loud minority, but they're really fucking loud. And they say some horrible, horrible shit. But those people are so anti-women. And yeah, they could be burner accounts. They could be bots, which is just even dumber. But yeah, between superheroes, Star Wars, video games, because God forbid you're a woman or a woman identifying and you're kick ass at video games. I love seeing some of those like videos of women just knocking the dudes fucking out on like Fortnite and Call of Duty. But it's just like, I don't understand why they need to, I mean, other than just being men and insecure, like why you need to belittle just why you can't just embrace other new fans and be like, oh, well, if you really like Supergirl and if you like kind of this version of Supergirl, then you'll like this other superhero or this other comic. Like, don't be a dick. Like, end of sentence. Don't be a dick. So, but I think she handled that wonderfully. And I love that. Yeah, she didn't even say men. And obviously they are very emotional creatures. And I think we need to take their feelings into considerations and just make sure that they know it's okay. Just smile more and they'll be happier.
I love that. Just
honestly,
smile.
they really should. They should just smile more. Like, you would look so much better when you smile.
100%.
Yeah. So, Tiff.
I mean, she's hit the nail on the head. I'm thinking about Brie Larson when she played Captain Marvel, and she got all of the fanboys and, you know, the dude bros telling her, why aren't you smiling? And she flipped it around and said, well, why aren't you smiling? You know, when she put the smiling face on all of the male superheroes in the MCU and everybody, all of the dude bros came for her on that. I was like, but look how brilliant she's being. You're making her point for her. She doesn't have to do anything else. And you can see just how little boy tantrum behavior that you are engaged in. And this is the same thing with Millie. She's going through the same steps, apparently. It's never ending, probably since Linda Carter, you know, gave us her lasso and boots on Wonder Woman, you know, in the 70s. It's women identifying and, you know, and women superheroes are just, or I should say femme identifying superheroes are always going to catch it. Always, no matter what. You know, I'm not a fan of Scarlett Johansson and, you know, her portrayal of Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, is bothersome to me because it could have been done so much better. But she got it too. It was the same thing. All of these sexist statements and sexist comments. And there was such a difference you could see between what they put her in all of her other movies that were all male directed movies versus what she ended up in her tentpole movie on her own in Black Widow. It's much looser, much more conducive to fighting. It comes from with the female gaze. It's very much not the male gaze. And that's a big part of it. That is a huge part of it. And like, I'm so tired of dude bros. Like I am. I'm just go somewhere. Just live in your mother's basements and, you know, eat Cheetos and cheese puffs and just be gross down there. Nobody wants to deal with you. Nobody wants to hear you. Yeah. All that to say that Millie is right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I agree with everything that's been said and everything Millie said. And I think, you know, it's so funny and so telling when she said, I didn't even say men in what I was saying. And yet, and to me, that just kind of speaks to, okay, well, you feel like I was talking about you then. You're recognizing yourself in this. It's just, oh, it's so aggravating. I remember when I first started this podcast and I was told by numerous people, the one fandom you don't want to talk about is Star Trek, actually. It was Star Trek that I was told about. And they're like, don't do it. People are going to come after you and you don't want to do it. And we did eventually do it. Like, it was a long time ago. Like, I think it was in 2021 that we did, finally, I think. And it was fine, but I was warned about that, you know, you're going to get a lot of the people coming after you, a lot of the men coming after you for that. So it is true when you operate in a fandom space or when you're in a fandom space, I think that the sexism and the misogyny and everything gets heightened in this way where it's like, I think it's because a lot of people think that if you are not a man or you don't, if you're not a man at all, then you are, and you are into something, then you are probably like a teeny bopper or you can't be taken seriously or you don't understand it. And you should just be into romance or which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with it. I'm just saying that I think is a lot of what they think or like, or that's why a lot of men don't take fandom as seriously sometimes, even though, they'll be fans of sports and that's fandom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this weird thing of like this ownership and this like, we can't have you in this because this is like something that's deep and you will never quite get it or quite understand it. And then I think also to have on top of that, have a different sort of interpretation of Supergirl and have her be, like not like prim and proper or not like good girl kind of thing, not like on the same level as Superman as far as like the way she's presented, because Superman is very much presented as a good person. I know that's not always the case, but for the majority of time, that's what happens. So, I think that's also what's going on here is they don't like that. They want to own the way Supergirl is portrayed because I think another part of it is that's part of their fantasy world and their fantasies, and they want to be able to have the woman be part of what their fantasy is and everything. And once again, please go see Obsession. This actually plays really into that. I didn't even choose it because of that. And now when we're talking about it, it plays into that. So
that was slick.
Very slick, Erin. Very slick. Promo for
Obsession. Very slick.
But yeah, and I just feel for these people who are in the public eye also, and that are in these franchises and having to deal with this, because on top of it all, people that are attacking them, and I'm talking about the people that aren't the bots, that are attacking them are also viewing it like this isn't a real person because they're an actor. I really think that's the way people view actors sometimes is they're not real people and we can do whatever we want because they put themselves in the public eye. And that's not true. That's not true. Just because they're in the public eye, because that's part of what their job entails, does not mean they're not entitled to live a life free of abuse. So yeah, I mean, this is just typical, nothing new, sadly here. But I love what she said. I love the way she reacted to this. I think it's amazing because it's not this like, I don't know. There's something about it that's so like, fuck you that I love. Yeah. And just saying, well, I'm pissing you off, so I'm doing good. And I love that it's like, okay, I'm going to take ownership of this.
It felt so savvy. Yeah, I think it was just really savvy because she didn't get mad about it. She didn't get upset. She didn't fly off the handle. She was just like, yeah, proving my point. It was, I mean, like A++. Her publicist should have just, gotten her an edible arrangement because that was great.
An edible arrangement.
I mean, like,
I was not expecting edible arrangement. The best one they have.
The very best. The chocolate covered ones.
Yep.
But that'll do it for this week's episode of Pop Culture and Fandom News. So thank you, Jenn and Tiff, for joining me on this one. And we're going to go ahead and close out. And Jenn can tell you where her podcast, My Streaming Bubble, can be found. And she's also the co-host of our podcast, Twin It to Win It. So take it away, Jenn. Tell everybody about My Streaming Bubble.
Okay. So you can listen to My Streaming Bubble everywhere but Pandora because they're a bunch of bitches and we're boycotting Pandora.
I'm not boycotting Pandora, by the way, everybody.
Thanks, twin. No.
I support you, but I can't.
But you can find me on all your favorite socials. Just Google My Streaming Bubble and I'll pop on up there for you. And then ditto all of that for Twin It to Win It.
For ya. Sorry.
I couldn't help it.
I love that. So, Tiff.
So you can find me at Who Is Tiff Is Me across the socials. And I'm mostly on the Discord with all of the It's a Fandom Thing pod crew, chatting it up, chopping it up, talking about books, talking about movies. There's been some good discourse today about going to the movies by yourself versus going to the movies with other people. I love that. That's been really fun. So yeah, come on over, say hello, and we'll chop it up with you.
I'm sorry, just when you're saying chop it up, I'm like, have something totally different in my head.
Chop it up like Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, so I love going to the movies alone. I go to the movies alone a lot. I love it. I love going with people, but there's also something special about going alone, and then you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, does this person like this movie as much as I do? Or are we both hating it? Or, that kind of thing. Because that happens to me sometimes when I'm going with someone. So don't be afraid to go to the movies by yourself, okay? Just do it. Do it. It's fun. When you're going to the movies, you shouldn't be talking to each other anyway. So it can be a very solitary thing. So yeah, I'm pro going to the movies alone. But you can find Fergie, the dog, who would love Obsession. Get to bring it up again. She would be fine with the cat part, too. She's always trying to get cats, so she doesn't even have a chance of getting them. Don't worry. The cats torment her and taunt her because they're like, you can't get us. Exactly. It's exactly what they do. They will literally walk up to the door when she's inside and be and she's like, and they're just like, whatever. But she's a funny dog that you can follow on TikTok at Schroeder and Fergs. That's SCHROEDERANDFERGS. It's long, but it's worth it. To find links to all our past episodes and our social media, including that Discord server that was mentioned, head on over to our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. And while you're there, consider becoming a Patreon supporter today. For as little as $3 a month, you get ad-free content, you get episodes a day early, you get bonus content, occasionally you win prizes, and lots more. So click the link in the show notes or the Support Us tab on our website, which once again is itsafandomthingpod.com. And on Friday's episode, Jenn and Tiff will be back to talk about drunk history. And no, we're not going to be drunk, or maybe they are going to get drunk really quickly. Do a few shots.
Yeah, bust out the bottle of Everclear and then just say goodnight.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, Jenn.
I'm joking.
You're trying to have us die.
That would not be good.
No, I'm not in my 20s anymore. So no.
That reminds me of the time, it was back in 2008, I think it was. And I went to go see Depeche Mode at Red Rocks, and we decided we're going to be like we were back in our teen years, and we're going to drink Boone's Farm in the
Oh my goodness.
in the parking lot. And then if you've ever been to Red Rocks, this was not a good idea. And then hiking into Red Rocks, because it is a hike in there from the parking lot. I had to lay down on the seats. I was fine by the time Depeche Mode came on, but yeah, that was not, because Boone's Farm is, cheap for a reason.
Yep. Yes. You end up drinking an entire bottle because it's so sweet.
Yep. That's what happened to me. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. So we're not going to do that, though.
No.
But it should be fun. Anyway. So until next time, remember, it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter, stop Asian hate, and free Palestine.